hope you're all well. So you may have noticed the change in my backdrop, and that is because I came home this month, sadly. I really don't want to come home, but it seemed to be the only kind of logical thing to do, and that will be explained in this video. So this is just a little intro to explain the video, and this is basically a video of what I have done throughout the whole month. Not everything that I've done, but it's things that I've kind of brought my camera along to and thought I'd film. So there are bits that I've done around the month, like shopping, meeting up with friends, coffee. I just thought they weren't very interesting to record. So without further ado, this is some days in my month. It's like a monthly roundup of things, put it that way. So I hope you enjoy. Ciao! I had an exciting start to the month with a trip to Brugge. 3 trains and 3 hours later we were there. There were pink houses and hobbit houses and picturesque canals just to stroll around. There were more chocolate tiers than you could imagine. It was basically like a chocolate paradise. Since living in the Netherlands, I've developed a thing for windmills, so I was so excited to find out there's 4 windmills just on the edge of the old town. The walk there also had the most adorable houses, but to be in the bad vlogger that I am, I forgot to film. It was incredibly windy, and he didn't want to be filmed. Windswept, we went back into town. In this church there's no photos or filming, but I may have got a cheeky snap of the stained glass windows. It was getting pretty cold, so we decided to call it a day. Brugge is absolutely beautiful, and it sounds cliche, but it is just like a fairy tale. After using a temporary bike that did my head in for about a week, I finally got my bike back. I had a lovely visit of one of my closest friends from back home. We did a little bit of browsing and a lot of waffle eating. My gosh, those waffles are good.
Well, I know that you're young, and I know you're naive, but you know that you got me.
We caught up over some coffee and then found ourselves in the middle of a confetti machine, which was unbelievably fun.
I can't help but to wonder, is your love for me real? Now you.
We grabbed some ridiculously cheap beers and headed out for the night.
And I know you're naive, but
Today was the first official day of carnival, and we went out in style. I was in my onesie. We then caught the parade, which was great fun. There was live marching bands and loads of floats. We did hope to see more confetti, but sadly there wasn't that much.
Love was changing the minds of pretenders while chasing.
The costumes were bloody amazing, and they just put our English attempt of costumes to shame. It started getting really chilly and windy, so we headed back home for a little kind of photo shoot thing. As night fell, we were back out again dancing to Justin Bieber, and then sadly it was time for Yansha to go home. On to the second day of Carnival, and it was still buzzing. I wanted to really make the most of Carnival, so unfortunately I didn't film much. It kept on going until the night, with a few of us cheekily jumping on the back of a float, which was really fun until we realised it was going out of town. Carnival in Maastricht was such an amazing experience, and I'm so grateful to have been a part of it and for everybody who made it just such an amazing and unforgettable experience. Today I explored the wonderful city of The Hague. I pulled out the map on my phone and started my journey off into the city. The Hague also has the most beautiful skyline. I was so obsessed with it after 8 months of not seeing a single skyscraper. It was about 1 degree on this day, so I went and brought a latte to warm up. Warmed up from the coffee, I started the journey towards the Peace Palace. I arrived, but to only find out it was closed. So they offered us a paper version instead. Being a seaside city, it has the cute kind of seaside architecture with cool independent shops just down side streets. I was pleasantly surprised by The Hague, and I'd love to go back again to see the seaside, as the seaside at 1 degree, ain't nobody got time for that. I met up with my friend Marina to hand out flyers. It was part of her job, but she made it so much fun, and I saw so much of Maastricht that I never knew existed. Our first stop was this house, and it was so wonky. A few stops later, we ended up in this really cool basement where they store their bikes. The graffiti on the walls was really cool, and it was just a cool place. After a long but fun day of cycling around Maastricht, we finished up with a coffee, and I'd just like to say a big thank you to my amazing friend Marina for such an amazing day. I took part in an EEG to help out a friend with his dissertation project. Even though I've done these a few times before, this was the first time I've seen my brainwaves. It was kind of exciting. I went back home, showered to get all the gel out of my hair, and then we met up again to go on an adventure to the national park. Took a few back streets within the national park, and we ended up in a residential area. The houses were so fancy, but all of them were less than $500,000. With the feeling in our toes slowly disappearing, we headed back home for some pie and a night out. My dad and sister arrived to help in the removal process and going back to London. As they arrived around 6 o'clock, we went out for dinner at our usual place that we go to, and it's always delicious. I had my last walk around Maastricht at night. It was such a lovely walk, but I was so sad to be saying goodbye.
So here I go. belong to.
When I moved to Maastricht, I put it on my list to visit Cologne just for the close proximity, so on my last weekend we made a trip down. Our first tourist stop was Cathedral Dom. The outside was really pretty and it was a really nice cathedral, but I wasn't too blown away by it.
You call my name with your lip. I take a drink, I hate it. I tell you what you want to hear, so I can catch my breath.
We gave ourselves the challenge of climbing the 535 steps up to the top of the cathedral. Without sounding like a fun sponge, it really was not worth it. There was too many people and the view was obscured by the cathedral itself and the wires and other people.
Don't know how to make it clear.
After leaving my camera at home, losing my dad, and then not liking the cathedral, I was in a right mood. We did look around Cologne a bit more, but not too much, as I was just so fed up I wanted to go home. So all in all, Cologne was not a great success. Later on, my dad and I went to see The Revenant. It was good. The time had come to say my final farewells to the city that I called home for the past 8 months. We were on the road by 12 o'clock for the long 6-hour journey back to London.
I think I've lost it again. I think you've lost it, my friend. Na, 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 na. I want it all. I want it all. Oh, na, 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 na. I want it all. I want it all. But I'm coming home. Girl, I'm coming home tonight. I'm coming home. Girl, I'm coming home tonight. I'm coming home. I want it all,
Eventually,
I want it all.
I'm so grateful for the venture I had whilst living in Maastricht, and I can safely say that it has been one of the best but toughest experiences of my life. I have learnt so much, not only about the Dutch culture, but also about myself, that I'm capable of more things than I realised. I was, and I still very much am, upset about leaving, but all good things must come to an end, and I'm just so glad it happened.